You've just been talking about oil prices. Of course, it's one of the biggest costs for any carrier there. And let's ask Andrew how he's doing with it. Now, how do you deal with it? I mean, is it surcharges? Is it hedging? How do you cope?
We don't hedge, actually, because it's funny how you so often end up on the wrong side of the bargain. But our focus is actually on continual renewal of our fleet. The latest fuel technology aircraft, and we're actually the first LCC in Asia to take the A320neo, which is the new engine version of the A320, and we've been operating that now for a few months. And although it's still
and how much does it give you in terms of, you mentioned the issues because I think Qatar Airlines has a problem with it. Yeah. What are the issues that you're seeing, and how much of the cost saving are you getting realistically on this plane?
Yeah, it's certainly we've had some engine issues, and Pratt's are working through that. It's giving us some difficulty, but what we're seeing on the fuel burn savings is something like 16 to 20%, depending on the route. So the fuel burn is very valuable to us, and we're pleased with that. Obviously, we want to get the engine working reliably.
Absolutely. So what's the impact on yields then?
It helps reduce our cost base. Lower cost base feeds into lower fares. That gives us more opportunity to access really the very large Asian market.
Well, indeed. So that brings us nicely onto the costs, and you have to keep your costs down. Of course, Hong Kong Airport, you being the only LCC based there. Now, how does the passing on of the cost of that third runway affect what you do in the future, and in terms of your ticket pricing?
This is a concern. The runway is being paid for in advance through really effectively a levy on tickets sold today. And whilst we absolutely support the runway and it must be financed, we're not really very happy with the levy because it's making air travel more expensive. That doesn't make sense.
But it is for everybody, don't forget, as well.
Sure, but it makes Hong Kong Airport more expensive relative to other airports, and also because it's a flat rate fee, it hits low fare paying passengers disproportionately.
Absolutely, yeah, percentage-wise. Now, what do you do to offset it then?
We've got no real alternative but find cost saving elsewhere to keep our fares competitive. No other choice.
Okay, Andrew. The thing is also you fly in the region. You're not a big player into China. You're more North Asia and Southeast Asia where you fly out to Hong Kong. So tell me something. You've also got quite a few mainland airports nearby, and they're getting increasingly more competitive, aren't they? How are you dealing with that?
Correct. So there's essentially 5 airports around the Pearl River Delta, but the important thing is that the Pearl River Delta conurbation is something like, depending on how you measure it, 40 to 60 million people, more than enough passengers, to go around. But to be competitive, it's obviously then about fares, but also about network.
And the network is, of course, it's unusual. I mean, low cost. We've heard about the airline alliances, but now you've got the low-cost airline alliances, and you're a founding member of UFly.
Yes.
Now, what does that bring to the party?
Obviously, in a sense, one of the big travel themes of the moment in the future is China outbound travel. So how do we tap into that? And we've decided it makes much more sense to partner with strong LCCs based around China. They can then, feed our network. We can feed theirs. And it gives us a sort of a much easier entry point into the Chinese market. Okay,
so that's one way of also dealing with the LCC competition you're getting, because you may be the only one Hong Kong based, but there are 18, I think you were telling me, low-cost carriers flying into Hong Kong right now. That's getting quite cutthroat.
Yes, exactly. And for most of our customers, 2/3 of our customers are 18 to 34, and really what they're after is exciting destinations and low fares. So we've always got to be adding on destinations, keep the fares down.
So where are you flying? Okay, so where are you going to be flying to next then, in terms of?
Can't tell you. Our competitors want to know that, but we're going to continue to build our network, particularly in Southeast Asia. That's a focus for this year. Probably some more destinations in Japan, some more in China.
Yeah. Are you profitable yet?
Yes, we are. We've been profitable really since the end of 2014.
Okay, and how much of those profits is now coming from ancillary revenues? Because it wasn't your strongest point when we last talked, actually.
Yeah. It varies a bit, but it's basically around 20 to 25%.
What do you sell on the plane, or indeed baggage?
Yeah, and what's going on here is we're giving customers choices. We're letting them, design and build their trip in the way they want. Do you want a meal? Yes or no? If you do, fine, you can have one. This is the cost. If you don't want one, you save the money. It's actually customer service. It's customer empowerment. It's customer tailoring.
What about the impact of digital? I mean, how much of your marketing is done digitally now as opposed to linear and traditional?
Almost all of it, because of course the reach is much greater, and again, because of our demographic, they're all on mobile devices, phones, iPads, and so on.
And we've only got about 20 seconds left at the moment, but what is your big prediction for 2017, Andrew?
Watch out for the Chinese traveller. They're hungry to explore the world, and if you can look after them in the way they expect, then you've got a very satisfied and well-paying customer.